Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start with the story from a decade ago, back when our OP worked at a grocery store stationed at the full-service meat counter. It was a place of daily hustle and bustle, with each day bringing its own share of challenges and characters. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. The Kid. 10 years ago, I worked at a grocery store at a full-service meat counter. This means if you wanted any type of meat, steaks, chicken, fish, etc., not deli meats, you had to get it from me behind a counter. The Kid started working in the meat department 2 years after I did. He was a terrible employee right off the bat, slacking off and messing around with the other part-timers his age on his first day. Sometimes when it was a slow evening, we in the meat department would take food that would be going bad the next day and cook it using the hot plates on our plastic wrapping stations. The Kid found out about this and started spending most of each shift cooking food that had just been made, creating feasts for himself each day he worked. He stole from the meat cooler before he would leave his shift. He would pull what he called heist, where he would cram as many cuts of meat as possible into a paper bag, placed it just outside the loading bay door before he left, and then just drive to the back of the building to pick up his prize. He had cookouts with the other delinquent kids with his absconded beef. Store manager hated the Kid with a passion, but wanted to find a valid reason to fire him, so there was no way he could come back. This happened his second week on the job. He was still learning the ropes on how to do things when the woman came in. We knew who she was. She was the mother of a kid in produce who frequented the shop all the time. She held a personal grudge against the Kid's family, though I'm not sure why. She ordered 20 teriyaki marinated beef sticks, which the Kid obliged to. However, instead of placing them in a tin container, he wrapped them up in the deli paper we wrap plain unmarinated meats in. Needless to say, she wasn't happy when the teriyaki sauce leaked through to her car floor. So store manager finally got to bring the Kid into the front office and fire him, like he always wanted. The Kid went home before he could start working his next shift. A month later, the meat department was paged with a phone call. Upon answering, it was the Kid asking for his job back. I handed the phone off to meat manager, who told the Kid that in order to get his job back, he would need to get approval from store manager, something that was highly unlikely. So the Kid did the only thing he could think of. He called the store every day, not asking for his job back, but asking for hours in the meat department. He called every day for about 2.5 weeks and always called when he knew store manager was out. When store manager finally got all of his messages, he got confused and mistook the Kid as a college student coming back from a semester looking for hours, so he called the Kid back and left a voicemail saying he would tell the meat manager to put him on the schedule. As soon as the Kid walked back in the store, all of his old habits came with him. The slacking off, the heist, the feasts all came back full force. The feasts ended quickly, however, when he was caught by the deli manager, who promptly informed meat manager, "I was told to cut the wires inside every hot plate to stop them from working ever again, so nobody could make any food." The slacking off stayed the same, but the heists got worse. He didn't just take items from the meat department anymore, he began taking everything that wasn't nailed down in the store. This shed light to some of his worst habits too. He began taking medicines from the shelves. This, however, would prove to be his downfall. The medicine aisle was one of 3 areas in the entire store with an actual working camera. Store manager wanted to catch the Kid in the act before he could fire him again, but knew the Kid only stole things after he left. So store manager snuck into his office one day and closed the door for an extended shift. Watching the cameras closely, he waited for a sign of the Kid to come down any aisle there was a camera in. Sure enough, within 15 minutes of store manager's usual punch-out, he saw the Kid slowly walking up and down the medicine aisle. He was acting so nonchalantly, nobody would have taken him for doing anything suspicious. Then, with one swift movement, he swiped 2 boxes of NyQuil off the shelves and into the pocket of his meat jacket. Half an hour later, the Kid returned to the meat department from his rounds of socializing with his friends in the bakery. He placed his meds on the chicken cutting table and started snacking on some candy he'd taken earlier. As he turned around to go out to the case, he found himself staring at store manager. Store manager, "You pay for that NyQuil?" The Kid, "I was gonna pay for it when I left work today. I have a cold and Store manager, you're stealing it. I saw you on the cameras. The kid, oh, really? Crap. Store manager, get the F out of my store. If I ever see you on these grounds again, I'll have you escorted out of here by the police. The kid then went home and told me the whole story. Why was I at his house? The kid's my younger brother. Oh man, that was beautiful. But now we can't all join in talking crap about the bad employee because he's related to OP. And our second story. Sir, I'm not tech support. I can't help you. So I work as a customer service manager for a certain retail chain that has an annual membership. Today I have this gem of a phone call. Keep in mind that while this conversation is happening, I'm trying to answer questions from my cashiers, ringing my own customers, and keeping an ear out for calls from the floor associates about any issues. Thank you for calling company at place. How may I direct your call? Well, I'm not too sure. I'm having some issues with my membership. The one I pay the annual fee for to get my discount? That'll be customer service, sir. I can help you. What seems to be the issue? I can't get online. I'm sorry? I'm on your website shopping, but I can't get online. You're on our website? On your computer? Yes. Then you're online, sir. But I can't use my discount. So you're having difficulty bringing up your membership on the website? Yes, I can't bring it online. It won't recognize my email. Can I have your email? I'll check that your membership's still active. I check his account and everything is fine. Everything looks fine on our end, sir. If you're having difficulty with your computer, I can direct you to a sales associate and they can do an order right over the phone with you. And that's fine for right now, but how do I get online later? I sigh, take off my customer service hat and put on my baby IT hat. Are you logged into your account? No, it won't let me. I keep trying my info, but it doesn't let me log in. All right, well, I can see that your email isn't the problem since I could look up your account with it, so I'm going to send a reset link to your email. Just click on that and it'll walk you through creating a new password. Okay, I did it. All right, now log in with your new password. It still won't let me. It sounds like your account might have been locked from repeated login attempts. It's going to have to be unlocked by the IT department. But how do I get online now? Can't you just help me? Sir, I'm trying to help you. If you need to get your order done immediately, I can transfer you to a sales associate to get that done, and then we'll get you in touch with IT to unlock your account. I don't have the resource to do that myself from the store. And then I'll be able to get online? Yes, sir, then you'll be able to get online. IT rep who answered the transfer, I'm so sorry. So many IT calls begin with, fix your damn website, but sum up to, I forgot my password. And our next story. Guy said her car was only worth $2,000 because of a squeaking door. I used to manage an oil change shop. I was actually working by myself that day as I had the slowest store in the company. I had an older Chinese lady, probably mid to late 60s, pull into my parking lot in a decent-looking car. She spoke some English, but you could tell it wasn't her first language. She seemed upset. Now, this happened at least like 8 or 9 years ago, so I don't remember specifically what was said, but this is roughly how it went down. Me. Hi, how are you? Lady. Can you help me? Me. Sure, what can I do for you? Lady. Guy said car is junk and will give me $2,000 for it, and I don't know what to do. So I take a gander outside and see her car. It was a 5 or 6 year old VW Jetta. Not new by any means, but looks worth more than $2,000. Me. What's wrong with it? Lady. It's running rough and the door squeaks. So I take a look under the hood and the mass airflow sensor was unplugged. Plugged it back in and applied some WD-40 to the hinges, started back up, and it runs perfect. I went back inside and told her I fixed it, but I wanted to blue book her car for her so she knew what it was worth. Car came up as being worth about $7,500. I told her that guy was trying to rip you off and not to trust him. She told me that a guy she brought it to told her that the engine was junk and was only going to get worse and that her door was about to fall off. Whoever this was clearly saw she knew nothing about her car and would be easy to manipulate and tried to flip her car for a nice payday. I told her your car is fine and if you need anything, you come and see me. She started crying and gave me a hug and went on her way. Didn't charge her a dime. Coolest moment in my many years of customer service. And our last story. HOA versus trees. 50 years ago, a former owner planted 2 citrus trees too close to the property line. Neighbors didn't mind because they were happy to get free fruit. 2 years after we buy the place, the HOA sends us a warning letter that we need to trim back both trees, but they don't send the warning in winter or spring. No, they wait until it's triple-digit weather, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Nobody had complained about our trees. Some new electee to the board had gotten snoopy and overzealous, so I headed out back with a ladder and a manual saw in the early morning. The overhanging limbs violated the fine print, so it had to be done. After the temperature heated up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, I called it quits, then started up early Sunday for another round. The project wasn't done yet because it required too much sawing. Sent an email to the board with a progress photo and assured them the work would continue to progress on Saturday and Sunday mornings until it was completed, but had to be spread over several weeks for A, safety reasons, and B, because the trash pickup bins would only hold so much. Got an officious reply Monday afternoon insisting the board had always been diligent about this and was up to me to finish the job pronto since I had created the problem. Wrote back with a second photo, a close-up of 20 years of growth rings on one of the branches, added a note that we'd only owned the home 2 years. Asked whether the board would assume liability for any injury sustained if we rushed the job to come into immediate compliance. They gave us 6 weeks. Made them look at it for as long as possible. I finished it on the last possible day. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.